Fertile prairie lakes loaded with walleye are great places to catch big numbers of fish. Up next, Fish Head's Jon Thelen reveals one of his favorite High Plains hotspots and how to fish it.
Fish just chewing on it. There he has got him. And that fish, he certainly didn't smash it. That's kind of the situation you end up in when you have storms the night before. A lot of times these fish be just a little bit off to start the day, and that might be the case there. I mean, that fish, this guy here, he just kind of grabbed it. I mean, I watched him grab it and just kind of hang on it there. A lot of times when they're hitting really, really aggressive, I'll let him eat it and bend that rod over, but I saw him just kind of hanging there, and I could tell it was a fish, a nice 16-inch walleye to start our day, but I could tell it was fish because of the way he just put a couple pulls on it. You know, there was no way it was bottom. It didn't, you know, pull super hard, but there was a little bit of action down there, so you could tell. And that's why I took it out of the rod holder and set the hook on him, because realistically, I didn't know if he was just hanging on that back crawler or on the back edge of that crawler or what. But great way to start our day. I'll take that any day of the week. We're gonna keep a few fish today. I haven't had many fish fries this summer, so I think he's a perfect size eater to start our day, but that's exactly what we're looking for today. We're out on Devil's Lake, central North Dakota, and this is one of my favorite places in the world to fish. Couple of reasons for it. One, there's plenty of walleyes. Two, there's plenty of places to fish. I mean, man, you look around, and because of the way this system is flooded over the years, you can get away from people, and I think that's really cool. And number three, these fish grow fast. I mean, you have these year classes that come through, and it doesn't take them long to become keeper-sized fish like that one, and then there's big fish in this system too. So we're gonna talk a bit about how to catch fish out here on Devil's Lake today, because it's really not that complicated. But then on the other side of the coin, with this much water and this much structure that's flooded over the years, it can actually seem a little daunting. But we'll talk about it today, make it a lot easier for you to break it down when you come out here. It's like the end of the rain. Looks like that weather's gonna get around us. It's just finishing up over there and off to our east, but man, that looks like we got a nice day coming now. There's one. That one looks like a pretty decent fish. Well, just a little bit heavier. You know, that's the thing, you get such a mix of fish here. That's a good walleye. Another good fish. Whoa. Come here, buddy. Got him. That's a great fish right there. We'll take those all day long. Easy to catch. You know, about as simple as it gets. Just pulling spinners today, and these fish, that's another 14-incher. There's another fish on that one over there right now. Look at that. But these fish right now, they are so aggressive that it doesn't really matter what you bring by them right now at certain times. But then there's times where you have to be perfect with what you're doing. There's a little one sitting there with them. And today, I kind of feel like we're dialed in really good. And let me tell you why. When we started this morning, because I'm in North Dakota and I can have two lines, what I did is I started with a floating Little Joe crawler harness, and I started with a standard one. So I had one on each rod. The first 4 or 5 fish all hit the standard one. They didn't want that float. Now, I don't know if the color was bugging them. I don't know, exactly what it was, but they were just not interested in that Little Joe spinner with the float this morning. Now, on any given day, that can be the exact opposite, and that's all they want. But today, this is what they wanted. They wanted just the standard crawler harness. And I mean, this is a real simple deal. This spinner's been around forever. You know, Little Joe makes such a great variety of products. You can get crawler harnesses, you can get spinner rigs. And when I say a spinner rig's your one hook. Your crawler harness is your two. You can get your floating crawler harnesses. So when you're fishing those really snaggy areas, or you're just looking to try to put yourself in a position where you're holding it up a little bit and adding color is just a great product. You know, there's a lot of different spinners out there and there's a lot of different things that go into a spinner. But when you're on a bite where you're going to just go through numbers and you know you're just going to pile up numbers of fish, I don't think that there's a better spinner rig that you could put down there than a Little Joe in the crawler harness or the spinner rig. I mean, it's just ideal and it'll catch fish all day and it'll hold up. I mean, they're durable. Well, I handed to the weatherman today. He nailed this forecast. They called for those storms last night, southerly winds. It happened, it swung around now today, spit on us a little bit, cleared out, worked its way around to the northwest. And one of the things that's happened now though is the winds changed. And on these prairie bodies of water, I think that makes such a big difference. And there's a couple reasons for it. One is when that wind starts blowing, there's so much shallow water in these things, it moves bait fast. But it just seems to engage fish. It seems to make them get to the windy side. If we're in the spring, and all of a sudden this happens, and the fish are still on shorelines, I go look for windy shorelines. It's the first thing you should do. If you want to get out of the wind, here's the problem. A lot of times you get into an area where the fish are just not activated or they've moved out of it. So you look at what we're doing right now. We started in a little bit closer to the shoreline stuff today. A few boats came in. Now I'm working my way to an end of the structure I'm on that I haven't fished yet, because here's the thing. Now all of a sudden the winds change. So I think they're going to be out off of this north tip of this. So we're going to slide out there, but play the wind. When you're on these prairie style bodies of water, I'll tell you what, it can make such a big difference. If you're fishing in areas where it's the most comfortable area on the lake, let me tell you, a lot of times you just won't catch fish, but you get out in the wind a little bit and you can catch them. My rule of thumb is I'll actually fish the wind on these prairie reservoirs, prairie lakes, until I can't fish it anymore. When I lose boat control, that's when I'll go look for somewhere else to fish. That's how much I want to be in the wind when I'm fishing these types of bodies of water. There's one out there. Got him. That one feels like a pretty decent fish. That's one thing about these prairie lakes too, is there is so much space to fish. You can just keep moving around and moving around and trying different things. I'm a little deeper now, not a lot, but just a little bit, and just keep moving and looking, and eventually it seems you always can come across fish somewhere. Oh yeah, that's another good eye. Another good eater. That'll wrap up the day. Man, I'll tell you, it's been a fun day of fishing. Some of my favorite fishing is on these reservoirs, on these prairie lake type reservoirs, and I'll tell you why. Fish are pretty cooperative. Today it's been as simple as put a Little Joe spinner in their face and start cruising, and fish like that, man, they're snapping. Nothing big today, but you know, that's one of the things that I would say goes along with midsummer fishing. And part of that is because all of your medium size, your eater size, and your smaller fish get into the act. They're starting to eat more, and that's just part of it. And you know, every time I go fishing, I call it a good day as long as I'm catching fish. You know, when I get big fish, I'm thrilled. But when I fill the box with a day like that right there, get some good eaters and just have good action, I'm happy as well. Get out, pull some spinners around, try to get out to the Dakotas and try some of this. Western Minnesota, North Dakota, South Dakota, great opportunities all over. Awesome fishing, large numbers, and it's easy fishing. I mean, you can simply just put the spinners out and start cruising, and pretty much day in and day out catch fish.